lot of women. I was doing a lot of stuff. I'm also a nurse. I have a master's in nursing. So I've just always been a wellness expert, always done education. So for me, it was an easy transition to now write a book about my story of cancer. So my first book, Strong More Than Muscles, is my autobiography about going through cancer. So that was in 2019. I decided to write a book. And then from there, I just went on a whole nother trajectory. And so that's where you got author, best-selling author, media personality, all these things that I'm doing now, influencer, and then in addition to that, now I also am a mental health advocate, wellness expert. I do a lot of panels, a lot of moderating, all of that stuff as well. So yeah, that's my story.
Wow. So what did you, what was your start?
2019.
No, I'm talking about did you start with being a wellness coach or a life coach first?
Well, it's all parallel. It's all the same thing. So me being a nurse, I've sat by people's bedside numerous times. So everything is pretty much the same. So just me going in and doing patient education. That's me being a wellness expert. I know a little bit about, I know a lot about a bunch of topics. So I always try to at least know a little bit about a lot. So whatever you're going through, I'm able to adapt some of my clinical knowledge to whatever it is. So from that, it just, again, everything, I didn't even realize that those were actual top job duties and job titles. I just thought that was part of nursing, but then I was like, oh, wait a minute. So as a nurse, I'm also a nurse, but then I am also doing this. Oh, now I'm a guide. I'm guiding you through things that are going on. Now I'm a mental health advocate. Now I have all of these things. So all of that sort of gets intertwined, and then you're just like, wow. So now I'm doing all of these other things, but now there's actually titles for what those are. So that's why it sounds like people are doing all these great things, but really they just doing what they're supposed to do. And now there's a whole bunch of, formal titles for it.
Wow. Now, how did you tap into media from being a health advocate, health coach?
Yes. So honestly, it fell in my lap, so my podcast show, I started, 2020, everyone was with COVID, everyone was trying to figure out what to do. So I started doing these videos and I was calling it Life After, right? So whatever it is that tried to break you, kill you, things that you overcame, whatever the adversity was that you overcame, then I wanted to know the life after. So I just started doing these little YouTube videos. And so at that time, Ebony Magazine was trying to get into the digital world as well. So I had someone who was a vice president at Ebony, and they actually reached out to me. He's a producer, and he was like, hey, we're trying to start a podcast network. Would you like to do a wellness show? And I said, yeah, of course. And I was like, but here's the thing. I'm into fitness. I always post workout videos. I always do that stuff. I want to do anything except fitness. I was like, I don't want to be the person that everyone just looks at and they assume because I post workout videos, all I can talk about is fitness. So my podcast originally was called Beyond the Fit, which is beyond talking about fitness. And I talked about everything, same thing, life after, all of that great stuff, right? And then and that just sort of like segue to a whole other thing. And then now it's giving me a platform. Now I'm getting exposed. Now I'll start going out to the community. And once you open that door and people start seeing your value and people are like, oh my gosh. So then that's whenever you sort of transition to that influencer phase, because not only are you just a media personality, but now people want you to come to their event. Now people know that the energy that you bring is good, great energy. I'm going to bring the vibes. We're going to have a great time, that sort of thing. So then that's how that whole process started.
Yeah, because you always somewhere. We be in the same room together. We be in the same room together.
You're always somewhere. You're always doing something. And my response to that is that if you want to be known, then you need to get out. And then once you're known, to stay relevant, you have to stay out. So
that's the hard part.
Yeah. So
staying relevant.
Yeah. Well, and
you get tired.
But that's why I do so many different things, because I may not be relevant to you as going to your event. I may not be relevant for your election. I may not be relevant. Whatever it is, you may not think I'm relevant, but I have a whole other part of me that is relevant. And that's why books and things like that are a really good way to sort of keep that relevancy.
Right. And speaking of book, you brought some books.
I did. That's why we're here.
Yes. So tell us about your book.
Okay. So as a mental health advocate, as someone who is talking constantly about mental illness, mental health disorders, how are we trying to live a holistic lifestyle? I started having these guests on my show that were talking about adolescents and people who died from suicide. They lost someone through suicide, or they were depressed, or whatever. All of these things that I know from nursing, right? But then I realized that no one is talking about when these mental health issues start being identified. We talk about it as an adult, like, okay, now you're 35, you're depressed. You had a baby, you have postpartum depression now. You have this, you have that. But no one is talking about how important it is to go into those school-age children and speak life into them. And my big book that I released last year, that was a huge bestseller, is called Somebody's Wife or Not, and it's about self-love. And I just learned so much being on panels talking about it. I was like, you know what? Why are we not talking to our adolescents about affirmations, about self-love, all of those things? So thus the first book of it, which is called Your Mind, Your Magic. And this one is affirmations for teens. So
I
this
love
is
affirmations.
It's boys and girls. And I wanted it to be a little gift book that people could give gifts to, that you can put in a bag, because I'll tell you, adolescents, when you're talking about tweens and teens, they don't want to read novels. Now, when they get older in high school, they're ready for a novel, but not when they're young. So what I did was I made sure there is an applicable scenario and then an affirmation. So like on this one, it's like their body changing during puberty, and then an affirmation that for that. And so then this one is, I don't want it about being cool, because a lot of times now you have the stigmas of who's cool and not. So what is your worth? What is your that? I'm responsible, because now I expect you to get up and take care of yourself, because you're growing up, right? So now you have to figure out, what are you a responsible person for? Your accountability. So it's just pages and things like that. And so that was the first one. And then I was like, wow, you know what? I don't want to just be on affirmations for teens, because what if you're not a teen? What if you don't have the capability to understand that? So then I made one for special needs kids. So autism.
I'm a special need teacher.
Oh, okay. Well, we need to connect so you can get this in your classroom. But these are going to be, these are for our special needs kids, autistic, ADHD, whatever. So I actually made the wording a little bit bigger so that the teacher can read. And then this now is an applicable, I'm capable of managing my emotions in difficult situations. So it's things like that. And it's the same thing, the scenario, how to embrace being different, you know. So like I said, you can see that the font is a little bit different, but it's still the same part of it. So then I wanted to take it another step.
I did not know you had different parts of the book.
4 books. And so this one is specifically for young men. So this is for young kings. So if you have a you know, 4th, 5th, 6th grade, all the way to high school, there are scenarios. Taking breaks is important for everyone. I'm allowed to take breaks. I'm allowed to decompress.
I like that, because I teach social skills, and a lot of times they don't know how to control.
And then I'm confident. So these are things, because also people think when you're talking about self-love or affirmation or mental health, that it has to be for girls. Only girls.
That's
but
true.
Now we're at events like where I was hosting today, where we're talking about African-American men wellness, and we're talking about that. Like, why are we not starting with our young kings as well? And then, because I'm a nurse, I had to make one specifically
you definitely have to make sure
sick kids. So kids that have chronic illnesses. So this is going to talk about, you know, just the,
have you had the opportunity to work with kids like
well, I mean, as a nurse, I've done every genre of nursing. I worked at Texas Children's Hospital. I've done lots of stuff for pediatrics, all of that great stuff. But these are going to be affirmations specifically for having some type of disfigurement or living with a chronic illness. Every day you have to check your blood sugar. Maybe you're disabled in a wheelchair, whatever it is. So everything is, you can still do the same things. You are beautiful. And then it's an so it's a story, and then it's an affirmation that they can say on the other side. And then I took it a step forward, because I also have a Spanish.
So did you do all of these at the same time, or like gradually you added?
In like a month.
Girl, one month.
Yes, and then we have the Espanol version of every single one, so you can purchase the Spanish version. Everything's in Spanish because Spanish is also the fastest growing language here. Besides
I like
English.
how you accommodate different people.
Yes. So yeah, I don't know Spanish, but I did.
Right. You're not leaving nobody.
So yeah, so that's
leaving nobody out.
And then for anyone that has. If you don't want to buy the book, if you don't want to do it, I also have free resources on hollycotton.com, HOLLYCOTTON.com. And you can actually go, and I have a journal that you can print out, because a lot of kids, and especially their parents, may not have the time to go in there, and can't buy you a journal. I can't do that. Say less. I made it in black and white, so you can print it out in black and white paper, and you can actually do a self-love affirmation journal.
I like that.
You can make your own things. You can print it out as many pages as you want, and then also I have a coloring book for anyone that wants it as well. I called it an art design book, not a coloring book, because we're all adolescents. But basically, it's affirmation.
It's different.
Yeah, it's an affirmation, and you can print out. It's like 25 pages or something, but they can print it out, and they can color it and design it, and they can put it up wherever they want. And those are free resources available on my website.
Look at you. A month. 1 month. And when did this release? When did you release
this?
Last
month. So it's new.
Girl, you are. She is on it. You ate your Wheaties, huh?
I do every day, girl. Every day. So yeah, and then lastly, I also have a pet affirmation book, because I met a lady and she said, "Oh, I would support you, but I don't have a kid." I said, "No worries, I got you, boo, right here." Now we have.
You ain't leaving nobody.
Now you got a pet, and I made it in a dichromatic color, so your dog can identify and see the picture. So now you can also read affirmations to your cat or dog, whatever your pet is, as well. You can personalize it, as you see. I have there like that. You can put their name right here, and you can read.
That's their personalized.
That's their personalized book, and you can read affirmations to your pets.
Okay, now how can we purchase the book?
All platforms is global distribution, so you can find it. Amazon is usually the easiest option. You can Google, you can search there, but then also my website, hollycotton.com, I have some links in there as well. All of the downloadable content is on my page for free. Like I said, you want to encourage, especially for like teachers, whatever. Hey, go in there, print it out, shoot me an email.
Okay.
You can print it out. Give them to your class, start there, start that structure of self-love and speaking those valuable things. I am valuable. I do matter. I'm more than my grades. I'm more than whatever mistakes I make. Everyone's going to make mistakes, but it's how we cope with it, how we move past it, all of those things. And it shouldn't, their value and their self-worth shouldn't be based on grades and things like that. That's what all the pressure is. That's why they're on Ativan. That's why they're on all of these antidepressants. Already graduating high school, and you're on an anti-anxiety and antidepressant. Something's not right about that. So
haven't even gotten into the real world yet. Already stressed out. That's so true. That's why it's so important to do those affirmations, especially in the morning time. Because I do affirmation with my students in the morning time. Like, I am special. I am beautiful. I am wonderful. And it sticks with them the rest of the day. So when they down and they depressed.
And here you go. Take that for your special needs kids. Y'all can read those together.
Thank you so much. Yeah, because and they look forward to doing those affirmations in the morning. They look forward to it, because sometimes they come to school, they upset because they probably left their backpack at home or left their favorite toy. And when they come in my classroom, I say, nope, I'm gonna leave it at the door.
And
you'll come over here and start fresh.
And that's what I'm saying. Like that's the hardest part with that transition and those adolescence years is not making a mistake or a wrong decision define your worth and your value. And that is my goal. Because again, last year I did since I wrote my first book, having bestsellers, you have a lot of money, you have a lot of stuff that comes with all of these things that I do. And I was like, you know what? I don't want to get lost on what I'm doing in life. My path is to be the change. Everything that I do has aligned with how I am making the world a better place. And so, money, all of that, great. I mean, I've been traveling and doing vacations before I even started Holly Cotton. That was just something I was always passionate about. But I want to be known. I want my legacy to be what did I leave? What was the
Mhm.
imprint that I left on people? Whose life did I change? I want to know that there was a kid or someone that was like, you know what, Miss Holly, I read your book and now I feel like
Mhm.
this, or
Right.
now your book helped me with this, or you're
Mhm.
listening to you saying something spoke life to me. That's the legacy that I want to leave.
Right.
Money, your kids will blow through that. Your next
That's so
generation
true.
will
This
blow
new
through that.
generation.
They will. But leaving
don't
an
know.
imprint on someone,
Mhm.
that is my legacy.
That's more powerful, and it
Mhm.
lasts a lifetime. We're gonna take a quick break, but don't you guys go nowhere. We're gonna keep it locked here at KWalk 11:40 a.m. and all new 92.3 FM.
Yes. Thank you guys for joining in.
Mhm. And Holly Cotton, that's your biological name, or that's not?
No,
is
that's
it?
my real name.
That's a-
I would
you
not
don't-
have picked that name.
Because you know what I'm saying. Because
that is the
name,
most country name.
No, because I didn't even think about it like that.
Holly Cotton. No.
I didn't even think about it like that until you said it. You thought about that? Oh, I didn't even think. Oh, okay.
Maybe because I say it, and I always introduce myself when I meet people. I never say Holly. It's always Holly Cotton, you know. And I tell people that because
It stands out.
I do media consulting too, because people will be like, "Oh my God, I want to do this, I want to do that," and I'm like, "Or are you rememberable?
Mhm.
What do you leave? Why would I want? What asset do you bring by me inviting you somewhere?" And that's the thing. People want to be influencers so bad. They want their name. What are you selling? What are you selling? I am my product. You get one version of me, no matter when and where.
There you go, because you are a walking brand.
So now that also means you got to walk away from a lot of stuff too that used to make you want to turn around and knock somebody out. And now you're like, you know what? I forgot I'm my own brand now.
There you go. There you go.
You have an autograph for you?
Oh yeah. Autograph.
Oh sure, I have a new pen.
Yeah.
Need a marker?
No, she has the pen that I gave her.
I have a new pen.
No, I said the pen that I gave her. She's gonna use the pen.
Oh, well, excuse me.
I know her. That was a good idea. I forgot to say that earlier. Ask her that earlier. All right, thank you.
Yes. Oh, is this my playlist I came up with?
I know her. I told her. I said, she said she didn't have no playlist, so we just go with the flow.
I mean, you know your demographic better than me. So. Oh my gosh, I met so many people today, and they're all in my DMs right now.
Reaching out to you. That means you gave them some nuggets today. So was it like a forum too, or how was it set up?
The race.
Oh, so you guys, but you said you spoke, so.
No. So I was the red carpet host. So I was like interviewing like the mayor and all of the politicians and talking to some of the men that had just got screened. Like, hey, why is this important for you? Donnell and the guy who's actually the founder. You know, basically just finding out. Why are you guys here? What's the importance about men?
Makes sense.
Men's wellness, know your numbers, you know, that kind of stuff.
Yeah. So, okay. That's good. They had a good turnout.
They did. It was really good. I'm tired.
I know you are. I can't tell.
I know.
You're a natural at it.
I know. Well, that's the key too. Is also you have to always treat people like it's the first conversation you have.
That's true.
Because if you make people feel like you don't want to talk to them or whatever, people will remember that.
That's true. They do remember that. I know when I first met you, I was like, you know, when you meet certain media people, they be a little standoffish. I was like, oh, she may be standoffish, but you were still cool.
Yeah.
So my team took kind of got a little section of the red carpet and started interviewing you. Right.
Do you?
Right.
Whole team winning.
Team winning. Ready? Yeah, let me turn. Welcome back to the Not So Christian to Me show on the legendary KYOK 1140 AM and the all new 92.3 FM. We're still hanging out with the beautiful Miss Holly Cotton. I just found out that's her real name, y'all. Holly Cotton. And I love it. I love it because it stands out. You can't forget that name. It's an easy name to remember. Exactly. For those who are tuned in on social media, on Instagram, I'm getting ready to turn the camera over so you guys can see the beautiful Miss Holly. Say hey, y'all.
Hey, y'all, that sounds like me.
I know it did sound like it at first.
It was you. Oh, it was. Oh,
that was.
I'm like, wait a minute, that sounds like me.
So we're talking to Miss Holly, and I want to talk about your podcast. Your podcast, Holly Cotton Conversation, and it covers a wide range of topics, including mental health awareness, financial empowerment, nutrition, and self-love. What motivated you to start this podcast, and what message do you hope to convey to your audience?
So, like I said earlier, my podcast I started because it was Ebony was going into a digital era, and they were like, "Hey, do you want to do a podcast about wellness?" And so then what I wanted to do and what I continue to do is I like to focus on having a holistic lifestyle. How are we doing mind, body, and soul, right? So everything can inspire you to either be better physically, have more optimal mental health, or get your finances right. So all of my guests usually have that one of those three things.
Gotcha.
It's either an adversity that they overcame. I'm using their story of success. How did you do that? What were some of the challenges that you had? What was the outcome? What resources would you offer someone that's trying to do what you're doing? Right. So I try to pull out from them some free advice for my listeners and viewers as well. And then also, you know, I'll have whatever the awareness month is or whatever health topics are. I try to promote that as well. If I find people that are educating people on nutrition or wellness, prostate cancer, common men issue, common female issues. I mean, we have every awareness month entitled that there is, I have had a guest for. So that's pretty much it, is just trying to inspire other people to be great and live their best life.
Okay, you have a special guest that just joined on Instagram. Okay. She can't see it. I don't know how hold on. We got to turn this around. I don't know how to do this though.
Girl, ain't never.
What is Takia?
Oh, hey.
But I'm trying to see how to turn this around so you can see her too.
I mean, don't. It ain't my fault. It's not gonna be my fault.
Oh, I know how to do it. Okay. You got it? Yeah.
Hey, friend.
No, I don't.
No, I don't. Girl, she says she. Oh, there we go. Okay. Oh, can you get out of my bosom?
For those who are listening, if you guys would like to join in on the conversation on Instagram or Facebook, please follow us right now on Instagram at the Not So Christian to Me Show, or Facebook, the Not So Christian to Me Show, or on Instagram, Southern Girl Denise, because we're live all on social media platforms, on all those social media platforms. So we was just talking about your Holly Cotton Conversation. So when do your show air?
So I feel like. Did she want to say?
Do you want to say something? Because we live.
Right. I didn't want to cut her off by yapping about me.
You said you want to do what now? Oh, she want to know about your podcast.
Okay. Well, I didn't want to cut you off because I was like, well, okay. I don't want to. I mean, even though it's about me, I'm gonna back up so y'all not all in my bosom. Let's come over here. Okay, there we go.
You'll get a lot of followers today.
I'm like, why is it just?
You're gonna get a lot of followers.
I forgot the question now. What was the question?
Look, I go back to my notes.
Oh, my podcast airs every week, and then it's